A 20-year-old man is claiming an extreme case of police brutality.
Christopher Pinder says he was at a club on Independence Highway on Saturday night when he was stabbed multiple times by a police officer.
LaDawn Davis caught up with Pinder just moments after he was discharged from hospital.
And in this ZNS News exclusive, she tells us that Pinder is now demanding justice. We must warn you, though, there is some graphic pictures in this next report.
What was supposed to be a fun Saturday night out on the town for Christopher Pinder turned out to be what he called a near-death experience. Just moments after he was discharged from hospital on Tuesday night, Pinder told us just how the stabbing incident unfolded.
I was stabbed twice in the shoulder, gun butt, the forehead, above the eye.
By who?
Police officer Taylor.
What led to this particular stabbing?
Well, I was outside the club 30 and a guy hit my car and I was waiting for him to come out and he went to Officer Taylor and told him about the situation and he approached me and he just started beating me up for no reason. He didn't identify himself as a police officer and told I was already beaten up and stabbed about the body.
A video revealing Pinder's multiple stab wounds and his father's emotional plea for answers went viral on the cyber media network Facebook following this latest alleged act of police brutality. Ironically, Pinder's father is also a police officer. His mother, Vanda Pinder, says while police must do their job, it does not give them the right to physically abuse innocent people, especially if they did not break the law.
The police has a job to do, but there's no way I feel like a police officer should have done this, regardless of whatever situation. If my son was out of control, they should have arrested him, called the police station for him and lock him up. Nobody, I don't care who it is. I thank God that my husband is a police, and that's why I know the situation will be dealt with, because my son was supposed to have been dead. The police has no rights to take matters into their own hands.
Now, Commissioner of Police Alison Greenslade also responding to this latest act of police brutality.
I received a very disturbing report, I think just about Mr. Ferguson 2 nights ago. Yes. And I was very, very concerned about it. I sent a direct email to Mr. Ferguson with very clear instructions. I repeat, very clear instructions. I expected I would get an update from Mr. Ferguson this morning. I'm also very, very concerned about where the incident happened. Members of the public in that community are very, very disturbed by the noise from that particular establishment, the late hours that it is open, and there are some allegations about the police department which are very, very disturbing.
Now, while the victim's main priority is to fully recover from this horrific ordeal, he is hoping that justice in this incident prevails. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
The government says it is satisfied that the requisite legislative regime is now in place for the proposed national referendum on web shop gaming and a national lottery. Today in the House of Assembly, National Security Minister, the Honorable Dr. Bernard Nottage, said all systems are go for the January 28th poll. In addition to highlighting the questions to be asked of eligible voters, Dr. Nottage is also encouraging Bahamians to exercise their rights as the registration deadline is tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Just as is the case with general and by-elections, qualified persons who are desirous of voting in the advanced poll, either overseas voters or as special voters, also have until tomorrow, Thursday, 10th January, to submit the relevant completed application form to the Parliamentary Commissioner. This information was given to them earlier this month, in fact, late last month. Those persons who reside overseas must complete a Form J, and those who live locally but may be off the island, out of the country, hospitalized or undergoing medical attention or for any other reason, including police officers and defense force officers, and election persons. You register at the Parliamentary Commissioner's office or with the administrator's offices in the Family Islands.
Now, because there are no candidates, there will be no election agents in this referendum. Instead, Dr. Nottage notes the regulations empower the minister to appoint a maximum of 3 local observers at each polling station to ensure the integrity of the process. One representative from the Yes team, another from the No team, and an independent observer. Minister Nottage also made it a point to explain the wording of the questions, which have raised concerns in some circles.
On Friday, January 7th, I did receive a letter from the President of the Bahamas Christian Council on behalf of the Council and on behalf of the Save Our Bahamas Vote No campaign committee expressing their objection to the wording of the web shop gaming question. They alleged that the question was incorrectly worded and their specific objection was to the word regulation. They indicated a preference for the word legalization in its stead. In my response to them, I pointed out that the questions which were contained in the order issued by the Governor General on January 2nd accurately reflected the propositions upon which the government wishes the public to vote. I also expressed disappointment that the objections were not made when the questions were presented to them earlier. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, I pointed out to them that an unlawful activity cannot be regulated.
Traffic police have identified the country's first fatality of the year. Officer in charge of the Traffic Division, Superintendent Ken Strawn, told ZNS News that Virginia Williams, a native of Bering Point, Andros, and a resident of Prince Charles Drive, was crossing Prince Charles on Saturday afternoon when she was struck by a vehicle. She later died. Superintendent Strawn says traffic officers have to pay even more attention to Prince Charles now that it's a 4-lane thoroughfare.
Our concerns are for everyone. When I say everyone, I'm speaking to the pedestrians, in particularly in the area of Doris Johnson schools, the residents of the area who are accustomed to driving head-on into their properties and reversing out of their yards and across 2 lanes of traffic, the bicyclists, the motorcyclists, all of these persons are our concerns.
Between January 20th and 22nd, several hundred tourism and travel professionals will converge here in the capital and on Paradise Island for the 2013 edition of Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association Marketplace. Since the Bahamas hosted the 2012 edition of the event, we have the distinction of being the only country to host the event for 2 consecutive years. President of the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association, Stuart Bowe.
The benefits which will accrue from Marketplace should be both immediate, with increased bookings in the first quarter, as well as long-term, particularly from the destination exposure we will receive from the international press and their experiences with our diverse offerings and many exciting things underway in our country.
Now, Alec Sanguinetti, Director General and CEO of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, says the Bahamas has something special when it comes to hosting the event, and the numbers are proof that the international community is interested. 4 new countries make up the 19 countries to participate. Meantime, Tourism Minister Obi Wilshcombe says negotiations at Marketplace will go a long way for our tourism product and help us to reach our targets.
As you know, we are seeking to attract a greater level of airlift, and our overall goal is to increase the number of stopover visitors in 2013. We envision ending this year with 1.6 to 1.8 million stopovers. That is our goal, and we're going to go after it. And we know that our partners in the industry, the promotion boards and all others, are working aggressively to arrive at greater numbers.
This year, the computer ran 12,476 appointments.